Ladies and gentlemen of Bachelor Nation, we have breaking news to report to you this morning. Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. The biggest spoiler of the year has been leaked. It is dramatic. It is wild. There are a lot of gaps to fill in. We're going to discuss that right now. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals for behind-the-scenes content. Stand-up shows. I've got shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Hollywood, California this weekend. The stand-up's been picking up, so if you want to come catch a show, reach out to me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm also going to be going live on Patreon after this at 10 a.m., patreon.com/Dave Neal. So we're going to get into this spoiler right now. It's a season-ending spoiler brought to you by Reality Steve. Been sleuthed out last night by other accounts like Bachelor whatever. They're doing the Lord's work out here, piecing together what goes down with Rachel and Tino at the end of the season. So we're going to get into those spoilers right now. After you guys, make sure to know who the teacher of the day is. It's Mrs. V, so definitely make sure to reach out to Mrs. V. There's a link in the comment section if you want to donate to her wish list. Help us fulfill her teacher needs. Sensory items, good colorful things, watercolor paint, fun stuff for kindergarten, Mrs. V's classroom. We appreciate you, and even though your budget is small, our audience has a big heart, and we are there for you. All right, here's what Reality Steve had to say. As always, go to realitysteve.com for his daily roundups of all that's going on in Bachelor Nation.
At the end of the season, Rachel gets engaged to Tino. Obviously, there's hoops that have been jumped through, and Zach and Avon, and what is she arguing about? Like I said the other day, the details of how we get to where we get to, I don't have a lot of those details. In fact, I don't have many of them at all. But the end result was, in Mexico, Rachel got engaged to Tino, and Gabby and Eric got engaged. However, when you saw that preview for last night that previewed the rest of the season, there was clearly a situation there where Rachel is talking to somebody. It's certainly not in Mexico, and it's Rachel saying, what was the actual, I don't want to screw up the phrase, but I thought I wrote it down here, and maybe I didn't. Yeah. This is what she says is, you see Rachel saying to somebody, clearly it's Tino, and this is post-filming in Mexico. I don't know at what point. Filming ended in May, so this could have happened anytime between June and May and now. But she says to him, I want an answer for why you did what you did.
Yikes.
And here's what I've been able to gather.
What do you do, Tino?
I can say that this is interesting because her name is Rachel. And you know who else's name was Rachel? A character on TV? Rachel Green from Friends.
Ah, interesting.
And what was Rachel and Ross's big thing? We were on a break!
They are.
Now, there is something that goes down. I'm going to give you what I kind of know.
Tell us, please.
But I don't know every detail. So again, this is going to be stuff we're going to learn over these next 2 episodes. But I can tell you this. At some point post-engagement in Mexico, Tino and Rachel did have a lull in the relationship. Apparently there was not a lot of communication. And so that reference is kind of a Ross and Rachel reference. I think she's getting at basically why did you...
And again, we don't know this. This is what we don't know. So what we know is they break up, they were engaged, something went down. As we know with safe house visits, SHVs, we'll talk more about this in the next video, but with safe house visits, you have these Airbnbs, these kind of secluded homes. Sometimes they're in Malibu, sometimes they're in different places, and that's where they can meet up. Usually like one weekend a month. They're like, it's like the National Guard. 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Yourself out, you get to bang your fiance. So that happens. So what is, if we remember, we had Ari and Becca broke up in a safe house visit. So these safe house visits don't have cameras there unless something is going down.
Do what you did, and I think his answer is going to revolve around, well, I didn't know what our situation was. Because apparently there was a lot of dead time where these two were not in contact. almost like a Ben and Courtney situation. Something happened, and these two, Rachel and Tino, were not talking. So
now, my initial guess is they had some sort of fight based on what happened on the show, how things were edited, how things were said, and then my guess, again, I will wait until to see what happens, but my guess is Rachel gets very angry. Not to say it's not justified, but we've seen some of this anger come out where it's kind of like, I'm going to get angry and I'm going to walk away. And of course we see that that's how people react when they can't communicate in a way that's more effective. But again, we don't know what Tino did. We don't know. You don't know.
Now, when she asked him that, I don't know I don't know if it's a cheating situation on either end. I have no idea.
Swag.
What I do know, what I found out last night was this has more to do with a miscommunication breakdown between these two, and in fact, lack of communication between these two. And I was told it was similar to a Ben and Courtney situation where they just didn't talk. So you're just like, well, are we still together? We're not even talking. Like, you're my fiance, and neither of us are speaking. But like I said, you're going to get the details and probably get the answers from Rachel and Tino themselves when we see this finale play out. So that's the gist of why she says that, and that is definitely post-filming. But I can tell you this, Rachel and Tino are no longer together.
There it is, folks. There it is. Rachel and Tino, the more you know. Rachel and Tino are no longer together. Reality Steve's got a full video, or full podcast up. You can go check it out at realitysteve.com or wherever you find podcasts. Let me know what you guys think regarding this. It's not a hypothetical. This unknown, which is what could have gone down. Let's do this. Everyone, tell me what you think would have happened. Let's not jump to conclusions where we're judging people. Let's not do any of that because that's dumb, right? No need to get all worked up and get all angry at Tino or all angry at Rachel. My guess, I don't mean to lead the witness. You come up with your own. We'll come back to this video in a couple weeks. My guess is that they got in a fight, and some people have said maybe he didn't tell his parents that they were engaged, but there'll be some communication issue that can be resolved. My guess is whatever their fight was about, it could be resolved, but it's escalated because they do a bad job of communicating, which I know that's most arguments, but just seeing the vitriol that came from the way Rachel and Clayton handled their breakup, Rachel was pissed off. Even weeks and months later, she was like, these tears aren't for you. She kind of handled it in a way where I'm not judging her in the sense that I wouldn't know what I would do in that situation. But at the same time, I think she attaches herself to anger rather than other feelings that could come up. So if Tino's doing something that's pissing her off, I feel like it might get inflamed versus have the fire be put out through positive communication. Does this make sense? Again, we're going to wait and see how it all plays out. We're not really sure what happens. I will have my next video. I still have a lot of information to compile, but this was breaking news I wanted to get right to you. I will have my next video where we discuss some actual negative reviews that were given at the safe house visit. So neighbors actually left reviews from what might have been a fight that happened between Rachel and Tino. We don't know for sure. I'm going to read those reviews. That'll be the next video. Make sure you definitely hit the like button an odd number of times. Hit subscribe. We're going to have a lot to get into. And also, the other thing I wanted to remind you guys, today's Patreon is going to be real. It's going to be positive. We're going to get into the positivity, but there were some wild things that happened yesterday, and I want to make sure we're all on the same page. I'm going to share my true thoughts, the conversations I didn't air from the people that were just losing their mind. Someone had to get blocked from the channel. They were throwing wild comments out there. Kind of like the Barbara Streisand effect. I don't know if you guys know the Barbara Streisand effect, but the Barbara Streisand effect was Barbara Streisand tried to make it so that Hollywood maps, they sell these maps in Hollywood. Come see celebrities' homes. They had her address on the map, and she tried to make it so that they would have her address removed, which gave more publicity to her address. So in her attempt to remove her address, her home from Celebrity Maps, it made the situation way worse. We had that happen yesterday. And we'll get into all of that. So much to talk about. We'll see you guys on the Patreon at 10 a.m. and I'll have more updates on this spoiler afterwards. Now, don't forget, you can leave any spoiler comments regarding this in the comment section, just not in the unspoiled videos. So we'll keep the unspoiled and the spoiled separated until this season's over. We'll talk to you in a little bit. Love you guys. Comment section to deal with our Amazon wish list. See you later. Bye.